Members of the jury, look, I know I'm not supposed to talk to you before the case, but I just need you to know that I'm not a murderer. This is all some sort of crazy mix-up. I was traveling from New York to Miami and stopped in this little town, Berserksville. Big mistake. Turns out there's a murderer on the loose with the same colored pickup truck as me. Now I'm a prime suspect? Oh, I'm so nervous. I haven't even met my lawyer yet. Oh, you're not my lawyer, are you?
Oh, hi, Tracy.
Casey,
right. Well, I'm Miss Flops. I'm sorry. Sometimes I just, sorry.
You seem pretty disorganized.
Yeah, it's just sometimes I just get because
Look, all I care about is if we're going to win.
Yes, I have full confidence in this case. You have a solid alibi. There's no way you'll lose unless there's...
Oh, who's Mr. Scammerton?
Oh, no. Oh, no. This is horrible. This is terrible. This is...
Why? Who is he?
He is the best prosecution attorney in the whole state. He's never lost a case.
He's really that good?
The best.
Well, I am innocent, so it can't be that hard to prove, right?
See, Mr. Scammerton doesn't really play by the rules. He's a little...
Who's ready to win a case today? Because I just ate a bowl of Victorios for breakfast with a tall glass of self-esteem, and I am ready to fight. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rival.
And who are you?
Me? I'm a winner, an unstoppable force. I am
Mr. Scammerton.
in the flesh. And I suppose you're the defendant?
Yeah. Look, I wanted to tell you that I am...
Psych! Here's a little tip for you, kid. Trust no one.
Not even my lawyer?
You really want to trust that?
Hey, I may not be the best...
Look, I just wanted to tell you, I really am innocent. This is all a big mistake. They grabbed the wrong person and
Yeah, that all sounds like a personal problem to me. Look, I don't really care whether you're innocent or guilty. All I care about is winning. I have never lost a case, and I don't plan on starting today.
You would really send an innocent person to prison just for the sake of winning?
Yeah.
How could you?
Look, you really shouldn't fear failure. It's silly to fear the inevitable.
I cannot believe you. You're a part of the justice system. You're supposed to care about truth and liberty and...
Yeah. Look, you better get ready because by the looks of your team, you're gonna need it.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Falter.
You may be seated. Court is now in session.
Case number 19-1465, City of Berserksville versus Casey Licit for the murders of Greta Feta, Pepper Jackson, and Bree Cottage are now in session.
Is the prosecution ready?
Born ready, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready?
I guess, Your Honor.
Prosecution, your opening statement.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what I want you to do is close your eyes with me and imagine. Imagine a girl, 5'3", maybe 5'4", depending on the shoes she's wearing. Shoulder-length black hair, goes a little past her shoulders actually, kind of curly at the bottom. A pink headband, glasses, a black top with white stripes. Now, open your eyes and tell me, doesn't that image look a lot like the person sitting right there?
Objection! Your Honor, he's clearly just describing my appearance.
Shh. Overruled. Keep going, Mr. Scammerton.
Now, I would like to be known as a fair lawyer, a just lawyer. I don't want to show bias towards the things that divide us as people. Things like gender. Gender is something that is used to discriminate in the workplace, but not by me. The point is, I trust that you, the jury, will come to the conclusion and deliver the right verdict. You all seem like a very intelligent bunch, very knowledgeable. You might even say that you're all a bunch of smarties. Why don't you have some? Courtesy of me, the prosecution. Here you guys go. Pass them around. Make sure the guy in the back.
Objection!
Famished.
Your Honor, he's literally bribing the jury with candy. There's no way that
Hold on a second. I have one.
Of course.
Then it's fine. Overruled.
is insane. He's going to win because you let him do whatever he wants.
Order in this court. Continue, Mr. Scammerton.
I'm inspired by great leaders. Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, all outstanding people who will be remembered for their impact on America. I, too, would like to think that I impact America one case at a time by keeping sickos like Casey Licit off the streets and behind bars. Does that make me a good person? A saint? The answer is yes. Yes, it does. But I remain humble. Humble is my middle name. Well, actually, it's Cedric, but that's besides the point. I am so humble that if they held the Humble Awards, I would totally win. It would be some huge affair and I would just blow it off like it was nothing because that's just the kind of person that I am. The point is, I am the good guy here, and they, Casey Licit and Ms. Flops, they are the ones corrupting society. A vote for a guilty Casey is a vote for a safer world. Thank you. Try and beat that.
Defense, your opening statement.
So the reason that my client Casey, right, that my client Casey is guilty is that, not guilty, can I start over?
No.
Okay. You've got this, Greta. Despite what Mother says, you can be a winner. You will not be a disappointment. Not this time. Casey Licit is not guilty. It's as simple as that. She was nowhere near the scene of any of the crimes when they happened. She was in town for the most recent murder, and I guess if you think about it, she could have driven back and made it in time for the other two.
No! What are you doing? You're supposed to be defending me, not helping the prosecution.
Yeah, I don't really need your help, but if you want to run your case straight into the ground, you can do that too.
Look, I know I'm no Mr. Scammerton, okay? I'm not as put together as Mr. Scammerton, all right? I may not have talent or charm or a law degree.
What?
But there is one thing that I do have, and that is the thing that I have is, I know I have it written down here somewhere. Well, I can't find it right now, but what I do have, it is a real competitive edge. I'll tell you that much. Thank you.
Would the prosecution like to call its first witness?
We would. The first witness the prosecution calls is Casey Licit.
Wait, me? Can he call me up?
I'll allow it.
Come on, Casey. Step right up.
No. I know my rights and I don't have to testify against myself.
Party pooper.
What did you just call me?
Oh, I believe the prosecution just called you a party pooper.
Okay, I am not a party pooper just because I don't.
Look out, guys. We've got a real Debbie Downer on our hands.
I am not a Debbie.
Then you wouldn't mind answering a few questions. After all, if you're as innocent as you say you are, this shouldn't be a problem. Tell you what, I'll let you stay right there in your seat if Judge Falter will allow it.
I'll allow it.
Fine.
Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Now, most murderers won't just fess up to their crimes.
I am not a murderer.
But I am an expert. I spent years in law school, and I've been practicing for a good amount of time now. I am a seasoned veteran. I know the ins and outs of a courtroom, and I have acquired the skills, the sophisticated tactics that it takes to get through to a criminal. Guilty person say what?
What?
That's all we need to hear. No further questions, Your Honor.
Would the defense like to cross-examine?
I don't know if I can come up with anything after that.
Yes, you can. Question me.
I don't have a paper for this.
Just ask me questions.
Okay. So what's your favorite color?
Ugh, questions about the murders, Miss Flops.
Right. So why'd you do it?
I didn't. You're my defense lawyer. You should know that.
Oh yeah. Sorry. So why didn't you do it?
Because I'm not even from here. I was just driving through town when I got stopped and arrested. There's no evidence that I'm the murderer, except I apparently drive the same kind of truck as the murderer. But anyone could drive a white pickup. I'm not from here. I have no idea who these people are. Why would I want to kill them? I have no motive.
Objection. I want that stricken from the record.
On what grounds?
Honestly, those are just really good points, and they don't help my case. So I want it stricken from the record.
Okay.
What?
Well, you've got to admire his honesty.
Yeah, you don't have to. Just...
Hey, don't you argue with me or I'll hold you in contempt of court. Now continue, Ms. Flops.
So you had no motive to kill any of these people?
No. Like I said, I don't know any of them. I have no reason to be... I have no reason to... Not the... I have no reason to hurt anyone. I'm sorry, Mr. Scammerton. Am I boring you?
Don't mind me. I'm just sitting here patiently waiting for my turn to redirect.
So, I would never be the kind of...
Oh, guilty.
You know what?
Obviously guilty.
I think we're done.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Would the prosecution like to redirect?
Well, I mean, I guess if they already finished, I suppose I could. Ms. Licit, haven't you not, couldn't have, not even, wouldn't have, could not, couldn't have even not been the murderer?
I don't understand the question.
It is a simple yes or no question, Casey.
I don't want to accidentally admit to being a murderer.
You know who else doesn't want to accidentally admit to being a murderer?
Who?
A murderer.
Do you have any real questions for me?
Now, I'm known as a pretty reasonable guy.
I thought you were asking me questions.
I'm getting there. I'm not known to exaggerate or blow things out of proportion, but this person has got to be the most despicable, disgraceful person to ever walk the face of the earth ever. And I am including people who pour the milk into the bowl before the cereal. Yes, she is that bad.
I am not.
Now, how am I to possibly try and reason with someone so off balanced? So deranged. How could I question someone?
Oh, this is ludicrous. I'm not crazy or deranged. I just didn't.
Someone who doesn't know how to sit there and listen instead of interrupting me all the time. So no, I do not have any further questions for Casey. And it is not just because that when I was feeding the ducks in the park, I accidentally fed them this part of my notes.
Why would you even?
But because Casey is simply too off balance to answer anything truthfully. No further questions, Your Honor.
Would the defense like to redirect?
Yes.
No, Your Honor.
Very well then.
Miss Flops, why didn't you redirect? They could have heard more of my side of the story.
I didn't have any questions written down either, but I didn't have as cool of an excuse as Mr. Scammerton had.
Does the prosecution want to call its next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The prosecution calls Penny Fadson to the stand.
State your name for the court.
Penny Fadson.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please restate your name for the court.
Penny Fadson.
And what do you do for a living, Ms. Fadson?
I'm a blogger.
And what do you blog about?
I blog about blogging about other blogs.
And what is your relationship to the victim, Bree Cottage?
I knew Bree Cottage from blogging. When 3 days had gone by and she hadn't posted anything, I knew something was up.
So, what did you do?
I went to her favorite places looking for her. The Riverwalk because of its aesthetics, and the coffee shop on the corner because it's #delish. But I ended up finding her at the park.
And how was she when you found her?
She was toast dead.
How did she die?
It looked like she was strangled to death.
Strangled to death, you say. May the jury note that Casey Licit has 2 hands, perfect for strangling.
That's ridiculous. Everyone has 2 hands.
May the jury also note that Casey Licit discriminates against amputees and people born without hands. Now, how did this death affect you?
The whole thing was just #tragic. Great for blogging though. I got a lot of hits from that. Actually, could you stand still for a sec? I could take a picture. Murder shots are totally trending now. Perfect. They'll love this on the internet.
Now, what I have here is some hardcore photo proof from the scene of the crime. To those of you who are a bit more squeamish, you might want to look away.
Oh,
Photo proof? That's a crayon drawing.
Okay, you got me. Believe it or not, these are actually crayon drawings that I did from the scene of the crime.
really?
But it's so realistic.
Yes.
What are you talking about? It's clearly
A masterpiece? Yes, we know that, Casey, but we do have a case to focus on here. Now, Ms. Fadson, does this accurately depict what you saw when you found the body?
It does.
Isn't it great? I think I did an especially good job with the shading and the
I thought we
color,
were
like how I
focusing on
never...
the case, Mr. Scammerton.
Fine. This next picture is a close-up of the neck, and I warn you, there is a lot of blood and gore. So again, you might want to look away.
Oh, this may be too graphic for the courtroom.
I don't even think I can take this. This is too much like the actual thing. I can't even.
I think I might faint.
What are you talking about? It's just a squiggly line and some red scribbles.
What are you talking about? This is true art.
See? Thank you.
Whose side are you on anyway? Come on. The things are labeled so we know what they are. Otherwise, it would be just a wavy line and red scribbles. You guys cannot be buying this, can you? It's
The jury is a noble, sensible bunch, and not to mention a great-looking group of people, if I do say so myself. The jury knows the difference between right and wrong, what is legitimate evidence and what is not. So, of course, when they are presented with pictures as such, of course, they take it as a
Don't take
legitimate.
it seriously.
Did you say they don't take it seriously? How could they not?
How could they? I mean, come on. It's
Well,
just...
if you haven't been convinced before, then this next picture will surely show you that. Oh, actually, this is just the field of turkeys that I drew the other day.
Oh, lovely turkeys.
Very well drawn.
Yes.
I want to do this series of drawings of groups of animals called Beasts Running Wild. I started on this turkey one and it turned out great, but with the court case, it's all I've really had time to do. You know, I wanted to be an artist, but no, my dad said no. He insisted I become a lawyer. There's no future for artists in this country, he said. A lawyer will make much better money, he said. You have to think practical, he said. Well, what if I don't want to think practical, huh? What if I want to follow my dreams? Some of us still have dreams, Daddy. No further questions, Your Honor.
Would the defense like to cross-examine?
We would, Your Honor. Mrs. Fatson, did you see the person who strangled Bree Cottage?
No, I did not.
So you have no real way of knowing who killed her?
No, but I'm just getting the vibe that it was her.
Fair enough.
What? No, that is not fair enough. This is a court case. Okay, we need to go off cold, hard facts, not vibes.
I'm getting the vibe that you woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning.
I can see it from here. Oh, aura.
Well, let's look at the facts. You didn't see me. You can't prove it was me.
But yes, it is in your aura.
And as we all know, you can't fake aura.
No further questions, Your Honor.
You're excused. Thank you. Would the prosecution like to call its next witness?
Yes, we would, Your Honor. The prosecution calls Glenda Chatter to the stand.
Please state your name for the court.
Glenda Chatter?
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please restate your name and occupation for the court.
Glenda Chatter, town gossip.
Wait, your occupation is town gossip?
I am the ears of this town. Nothing happens without me hearing about it.
So, what's the news?
You want the lowdown? The word on the street?
Yes. What is the word?
Well, I know this guy who knows this guy who knows this guy's podiatrist, and this is what I heard. If you go to the lower eastern west side of town and turn into the third alley you see, not the one with the dog who knows how to play harmonica, the next one, and enter the back of the building with no windows, that will give you a vibe like a low-budget horror movie. At the door will be a one-eyed, three-armed man named Ambiguous Pete, who will give you an indifferent answer as to whether you can enter or not. Enter anyway, and if old Pete comes after you, well, you just ask him about his childhood, and that'll send him running for the hills, because the only thing Pete fears more than confrontation is snakes or losing a game of Monopoly. Once you're inside, you'll get a weird feeling, like seeing your teacher outside of school, Oh, or when you find out one of your friends is a distant relative of Henry VIII. Don't let that stop you. And you will see a woman with her fingers super glued together and bright blue eyebrows, but not above her eyes, sitting in the corner. Tell her, the geese fly south in the winter. It's time for them to come home. She will nod, and that's when you can get your Michael Jackson CDs.
What? This was about Michael Jackson CDs. This isn't even relevant to the case.
Michael Jackson is always relevant. He is the king of pop, one of the greatest entertainers of all time.
So beat it, just beat it.
Oh, wait, you're singing now?
Shush! Michael Jackson, 1958 to 2009. RIP.
What's going on here?
Shh. Show some respect.
You really do deserve to be in prison if you don't have respect for the king of pop.
We please just get back to the case?
Fine, if you want to brush the more important things in life aside, I guess we can ask some more questions. Ms. Chatter, what else do you know?
Well, I heard from my brother, who heard from his barber, who heard from the local bar mitzvah coordinator. And here's what I know. Far, far away from here, like 2 miles, you will find homeless Joe under a bridge. He will ask you a riddle. Now try to answer correctly, but if you don't, Joe doesn't have much motivation in life and he's a huge pushover, so just cross the bridge anyway. You'll go over the river and through the woods until you see a blue chicken. Now,
the murders! What do you know about the murders?
I was getting there.
Were you really?
No.
There were 3 murders. Greta Feta, Pepper Jackson, and Bree Cottage. What do you know about these 3 murders?
Oh, yes. I know a lot about murders. There was this guy who dies in this huge stampede. Looks like an accident. His son thinks it's his fault, but it's really the dad's brother who framed the whole thing so that he could get the family power. Then the son runs off and joins up with a meerkat and a warthog.
Are you telling the plot to the Lion King?
There's this other family. Oh, yeah. Mom and the dad and a whole bunch of kids. And one night the mom and most of the kids get killed. And the dad is left with one son who has a physical disability. Now the dad's always been overprotective and the son gets lost. So the dad goes on this wild journey to find him and teams up with a woman with memory issues.
That's Finding Nemo.
Okay, get this. There's this pig who gets put on a farm because his owner can't take care of him anymore. And there's this spider who helps him by writing in her web.
That's Charlotte's Web. No one is even murdered in that movie, okay? Charlotte just dies.
Spoiler alerts. Now, Miss Chatter, it doesn't seem like you actually know anything relevant to the case.
Oh, well, I just sometimes I. No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Would the defense like to cross-examine?
We would, Your Honor. So how does Finding Nemo end?
Ms. Flops.
What? I've never seen the movie before and I'm curious.
We're finished, Your Honor.
Would the prosecution like to redirect? Then you're dismissed. Thank you. Does the prosecution have any more witnesses?
We do, Your Honor. The prosecution calls Clarissa Vendor to the stand.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the court.
Clarissa Vendor.
And what is your profession?
I am a business owner. Don't have a cow removal service.
Cow removal service.
Yes. You've got the calf. We've got the moving staff. 1-800-555-6433.
And what is your relationship to any of the victims?
Well, Pepper Jackson is my neighbor across the hall, right in my same building. And she's a great supporter of my business. You've got a cow? We can take it now. Call 1-800-555-6433.
Right. And what do you know about the murder?
Well, I was sitting in my apartment and I heard someone coming down the hall. And I thought it was maybe someone who was a supporter of my business. You've got a cow? We can take it from there. You've got a steer? We can take it from here. 1-800-555-6432.
Ms. Vendor, just tell us about the night of the murder, please.
Well, as I was saying, I was sitting in my apartment and then I thought I heard a noise, but I wasn't sure what it was. And I thought again, maybe someone's just coming to see me about my business. You've got a beef? We can have the staff to move the beef.
Vendor, Ms. Vendor, please. No more advertising of your business will be tolerated.
Well, what's the use of being a witness then if I can't advertise?
To put that one behind bars.
I am not.
Shush. Now, Ms. Vendor, could you please tell us what happened on the night that Pepper Jackson was murdered?
Well, I was sitting in my apartment.
Were your doors open?
Both our doors were open. So I went over there and I saw her sitting in a chair. And I shook her because I thought maybe she was unconscious. And bam, I saw the stab wounds.
So, to recap what you just said, you were both in your apartments and both of your doors were open. You hadn't seen each other earlier that day. You thought you heard something, so you crossed over to her apartment. You found her body sitting in a chair. You shook her to see if she was alive, and bam, you saw the stab wounds.
No. That's not what happened. Here's how it went down. I was sitting in my apartment. Both our doors were open. I had seen her earlier in the day, but I hadn't seen her the day of the murder.
Oh, okay.
Then I went down the hall and I saw her sitting in her apartment. She was sitting in her chair. I shook her and bam, then I saw the stab wounds.
Wait a minute, I'm confused. Can
Wait.
you please,
So it,
please go through this one more time for us?
Okay. We were sitting in our apartment. Both our doors were open.
Yes.
And your path crossed earlier that day, but not close to the time of the murder.
Right. Then I heard a noise, maybe a scream. And then I went over there. I saw her sitting in a chair.
And you shook her to see if she was still alive.
And then I saw the stab wounds. Bam.
How is this court even real?
I think we all very clearly understand what happened that night. Thank you, Ms. Vendor. No further questions.
Would the defense like to redirect?
Yes, we would.
yes, we would, Your Honor. So, you're a witness to the murder of Pepper Jackson.
That's correct.
Now, did you actually see the murderer?
No, I did not.
So you have no way of knowing if Casey is the murderer.
That would be true.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Would the prosecution care to redirect?
We would, Your Honor. Now, Ms. Vendor, you did not see the murder, so it could be anyone in the world, correct?
I suppose so.
So because of the wide range of possibilities, we cannot rule out Casey Licit as a suspect, correct?
That could be true.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Does the defense want to redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Then you're excused. Thank you.
This is insane. None of these witnesses are legitimate. Okay, they either didn't see the crime or are just totally unqualified. Okay, none of these witnesses should be taken seriously.
Would the prosecution like to call its next witness?
We would, Your Honor. The prosecution calls Professor Puffle to the stand.
A professor? Well, that sounds rather professional. I'd trust the word of a why is Professor Puffle holding a ferret?
That ferret is Professor Puffle.
What? You can't have...
Professor Puffle was in the room during the murder of Pepper Jackson. She saw the entire thing. Who else would be a better witness?
I don't know. A human being?
Oh, would you hush up? It's my turn to question.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Professor Puffle, you were there on the night Pepper Jackson was murdered, correct?
It's not going to answer you.
Give her some time, please. This is a very emotional time for her. She witnessed her owner being killed. Give her some space.
You can't honestly expect it to talk, can you? It's a ferret. It doesn't matter.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what I want you to do is look long and hard at this poor, innocent creature. Her owner murdered right in front of her own eyes. Who could murder someone is one question, but who? Who could murder someone in front of such an innocent and helpless little animal? We've seen Casey Licit's intolerance for this beautiful, adorable creature, how she has no regard for her feelings. Doesn't matter, she says, just like it wouldn't matter when she's murdering her owner right in front of her. I don't know how Casey can sleep at night knowing that this poor little being will forever live in permanent trauma, having witnessed her mother being killed. No further questions, Your Honor.
Would the defense like to cross-examine?
I mean, I guess. So it wasn't really that traumatizing watching Casey murder your owner, was it?
No, I didn't kill anyone.
Right. So ferrets, they don't have that good of eyesight, right? Is it possible that you saw someone else? Should I take that as a yes?
You should definitely take that as a no.
Oh, okay.
No, you shouldn't let him just...
Guess I have no more questions then.
Would the prosecution like to redirect?
Just one more question, Your Honor. Professor Puffle, I know we've had our difficulties communicating here tonight.
I'll say.
But I just want to ask you a question in the simplest form that I can. Please yawn if... Oh, see that? A witness identification. She yawned. You might as well lock Casey up right now. It's a solid case. No further questions, Your Honor.
How could you possibly think that is...
Order in this court. Defense like to redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Then you're excused. Oh, bugger.
I think that this is a great time for a music break.
Music break?
This one's a classic. There was a girl who was guilty, and Casey was her name. Oh, C-A-S-E-Y, 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 and Casey was her name. Oh, come on, you all know the words. Join in. There was a girl who was guilty, and Casey was her name. Oh,
C-A-S-C-Y, 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 and Casey was her name. Oh.
What are you doing? You're supposed to be on my side.
But it's just so catchy.
Ugh, that is it. You're fired.
Fired?
That's right. I don't need someone who can't remember what side they're on.
Well then, good luck against him. You're gonna need it.
Okay, one second. Okay. So, sorry. You fired your lawyer. That's a bold move.
Well, she wasn't any help.
Well, since I'm so far ahead and I'm in a forgiving mood, I think I'm gonna give you a few tips.
Really?
Now, these are the most important rules when it comes to law. Rule number 1, they can never see you cry. Rule number 2, show no mercy. And rule number 3 is to be yourself. Have fun.
Does the prosecution want to call any more witnesses?
Yes, we do, Your Honor. The prosecution calls Albert and Arminta Contrary.
You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Ms. Contrary, I couldn't quite hear you.
I do.
Thank you. Now, please share with us what happened.
Well, me and my brother, my twin brother, right there, that's Albert. We were driving along Main Street, jamming out to the radio, when I saw something laying alongside the road. And I thought, oh, it's a dead animal, car kill. Then I saw a jacket, and I'm like, whoa, who would be throwing a bunch of clothes out alongside the road? Then that's when I saw the hair. Well, I tell you, we pulled that car over, got out, and you know what? It was a dead body. Can you believe that? A dead body laying right alongside the road. How freaky is that?
Albert, is that what happened when you found Greta Feta?
No,
Would you like to share with us what did happen?
not that.
Yes, it is. Remember, we saw the dead body and we were all like just super shocked, like, OMG! It's a dead body laying alongside the road. Then we called the police.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't.
We were driving along. We saw the dead body, pulled over, and freaked out. We called the police.
Did not.
Did too.
Did not.
Did too.
Did not.
Did too.
Look, are you two going to agree on one final story?
Yes.
No.
Having both of you witness at the same time isn't going to be a problem, is it?
No.
Yes.
Look, I'm going to get straight to the point. Did you see anything that led you to believe that Casey is the murderer?
Well, I mean, it did kind of look like the body was shot.
Casey, do you own a gun?
You can't ask me anything. I'm not on the witness stand.
May the jury note that Casey Licit refuses to confirm or deny owning a gun. But if you ask me, I think she's hiding something. No further questions, Your Honor.
That's your whole questioning. The fact that I may or may not, which I don't, by the way, have a gun? How could that possibly be started?
Would the defense like to?
I mean, this is ludicrous, you know. How does this even serve as...
That's it. You've lost your chance to cross-examine. Order in this court.
Ugh. That's the problem. There is no order in this court. You could do anything, and it just gets so... There is no order in this court. I could do anything.
The witnesses are excused. Does the prosecution have any more witnesses they'd like to call to the stand?
We do. The prosecution calls Archie Maniacal to the stand.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Can you please state your name for the court?
Archie Maniacal, former soldier of the Battle of Maple Hill.
And would you please tell us your relationship to the victim, Greta Feta?
Greta Feta was best friends with my granddaughter. I saw her a lot, but from the battle, I've seen a lot of things. Do you want to hear about all the things I've seen?
Not really. Look, we
It
have
was a
case
cold night in the bunkers. Me and my fellow soldiers were huddled around the fire trying to keep warm. Our fingers, our toes all started freezing off. Let me tell you, it got a lot harder to count to 10 after that. Food was rationed. The snow was piling up 2 or 3 feet high. We wanted to go home, but we couldn't let them win. Do you know who the enemy was?
No, but I bet you're going to tell me anyway, right?
It was those Canadians. Well, not really the Canadians, but what belonged to them.
And what belonged to them?
It was the Canadian bacon. It's an outrage. Canadian bacon isn't really bacon. It's just ham. We couldn't let them keep getting away with these lies any longer. The general said to attack, but we weren't ready. Although I don't think we could have ever been ready for what came next.
Oh, and you're going to tell us what came next, aren't you?
The Canadians were everywhere, riding in on their moose, swinging their hockey sticks. Good day to you, eh? They were so polite. But you could tell they meant business. Moose to the left, moose to the right. We were cornered, completely out of options. But that wasn't even the worst part.
Oh, don't tell us the worst part.
The worst part was the maple syrup cannons. The sugar, sticky goodness hitting right in the heart. Technically, there was no physical damage, but the emotional damage weighs me down constantly. To this day, I can't eat syrup. My pancakes, my waffles, all dry because I can't bear the look of that sweet, sweet tasties.
Well, this has been great, but why don't we...
Well, I let them all down. My platoon, but most of all, the name and dignity of Bacon. Forgive me, Bacon.
You know what? You know what? She's not worth it. No further questions.
Would the defense like to cross-examine?
I would, Your Honor. Now, Ms. Maniacal, you've seen a lot of things in your life.
Have I ever? I can still hear the battle cries of my platoon. It's just him. It's just him.
So you would be able to judge someone's character fairly well, would you not?
I've been around. I met so many people. I can sort the good from the bad, the good from the Canadians.
Do I seem like a murderer to you?
No, you seem like a perfectly lovely girl. Wouldn't hurt a fly. I'd trust you in my platoon.
Well, you heard it here, folks. This honorable vet says I'm a perfectly lovely girl. Wouldn't hurt a fly. No further questions, Your Honor.
What?
You're
You
dismissed.
can't do that. There was no evidence. You can't just make up claims based off loosely based statements.
You've been doing that this whole time.
Well, yeah, but that's my thing. You can't do it too.
Well, I'm playing by new rules now.
Does the prosecution have any more witnesses?
We do, Your Honor. The prosecution calls Herschel Hushed to the stand.
Please state your name for the court.
Herschel Hushed.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Now, Mr. Hushed, you were witness to the murder of Greta Feta, correct?
Can't phrase I desire why I'm so far away. No.
I'm sorry. What was that?
I'm not the one who's so far away when I feel the
Sir? Sir, I'm going to need you to speak up a little. We'll see now you've just stopped talking altogether. I'm going to need you to speak loudly and clearly, sir.
I got friends out on the coast. We can jump.
Loudly and clearly, sir. I need you to speak up.
No, this might not be an easy time, and we can't.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Would the defense like to cross-examine?
We would, Your Honor. Now, unlike the prosecution here, I have very good hearing, and I am able to hear what the witness is saying. I'll articulate it for you. Now, please, tell us again what happened that night.
There's rivers to cross and hills to climb, and some days we might fall apart. And
I see. So you're saying I'm not the murderer?
That is not what he is saying.
Go on.
And some nights it might feel cold and dark, and I'm the one who felt
That I was nowhere near the scene of the crime.
You're making this all up.
I got friends out on the coast, and we can't take like
That I am totally and completely innocent.
Well, I don't know about that.
Aha! See, right there. He says he doesn't know if you're innocent.
That's not the way I heard it.
He literally just said it. Mr. Hushed, please, say it again.
Oh, there might not be an easy time, and there's rivers to cross.
Sure, now he decides to be quiet again.
And now we'll never know. No further questions, Your Honor.
Would the prosecution like to redirect?
Well, if he's going to testify like that, no, I guess not.
Then you're dismissed. Thank you.
Unbelievable.
Does the prosecution have any more witnesses?
We have one more, Your Honor. The prosecution calls Beulah Young to the stand.
State your name for the court.
Beulah Young.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Whoa, wait a minute. This is a child. When I got the witness list, I didn't know this. I didn't know I'd be speaking to a child. Okay, I don't know how to talk to kids these days. I don't know what's cool, what's hip. What do kids like? Puppies, video games, the 1793 beheading of Marie Antoinette? Aha, I know. This is gonna be great. Hi there, kids. My name is Sacco, and today we're gonna talk about murder. Yay!
A puppet.
Not just any puppet, your good friend Sacco has Have you seen a murder?
How old do you think I am?
5? 13? 22? Anything under 30 looks the same to me.
Well, I'm a little too old for puppets.
So then, what do you kids like? Sports? Toys? Sustainable farming? I know. Juggling. Everybody loves some good old-fashioned juggling, am I right? I am a master juggler. They called me Juggles McGee in high school. It was my second passion after art. You know, I was going to be a juggler on the side while being an artist, but we all know how that turned out, don't we? But anyway, here I am, Juggles McGee, back at it again. Well, it seems I'm a bit rusty, but still very entertaining, was it not?
Not really.
There is no getting through to the youth of today. You corrupt generation. No further questions, Your Honor. I'm just done with her.
Would the defense like to cross-examine?
We would, Your Honor. Ms. Young, what do you remember from the night of the murder of Greta Feta?
Not a lot.
Well, maybe this will help your memory.
Hey, you can't take that. That's my candy.
Oh, let the jury note that the prosecution is against sharing. Not sharing with others is a quality that a liar would have. You know, someone who would lie about someone else being a murderer. Now, what do you remember, Ms. Young?
Well, I saw the person who shot her, but couldn't really make out who it was. But for another piece of candy, I can definitely confirm that it wasn't you.
Oh, you've got it.
Hey, stop it.
Yeah, no, I can totally verify that it wasn't you who shot Greta Feta.
Well, there you have it. Totally verifying that I did not shoot Greta Feta. Who needs more proof than that? No further questions, Your Honor.
Would the prosecution like to redirect?
Why didn't you tell me you were motivated by candy?
I guess you just knew what kids were into these days.
No further questions, Your Honor.
You're excused. Does the prosecution have any more witnesses?
Prosecution rests, Your Honor.
Very well. Does the defense have any witnesses that they'd like to call to the stand?
Witnesses? I have some witnesses.
You have no witnesses? Ha! You have nothing. You will never, ever win this now.
Just face it, okay, Casey? We're through. Might as well just get ready to go home now.
What's that all over your coat?
Oh, well, it's definitely not the blood of Pepper Jackson, Greta Feta, or Bree Cottage from those brutal murders. That's for sure.
Well, as long as it's not blood from that.
The defense calls the bailiff to the stand.
Me? I don't even know anything. Like, I didn't know that Pepper Jackson was stabbed 7 times at 6:48 p.m. on the 23rd.
We never said how many times she was stabbed. Or at what time.
Oh, I guess I'm just a really good guesser.
Casey, this is just a man who happens to have a blood-stained coat and also happens to be good at guessing murder details. There's absolutely nothing suspicious about him.
I want to question him.
Well, I guess you'd better swear yourself in then.
Fine. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I guess.
Please state your name for the court.
Joseph Slayer.
And your occupation is a bailiff.
Yes, but I also own a restaurant, Sloppy Joe's.
And Mr. Slayer, what type of vehicle do you drive?
A white pickup truck.
Same as me, and same as the murderer. Okay, so do you know any of the victims of the murders?
Not personally, no.
Well, then why did you kill them?
I didn't. I wasn't the one who strangled Bree Cottage with a shoelace, and I'm not the one who drove her body to Little Creek Park on the corner of 4th and Elm.
Well, for someone who's not a murderer, you seem to know a lot about the murders, Mr. Slayer.
Well, yeah, but it's not like you're gonna get me, because unless you get a confession out of me, Scammerton basically has this case in the palm of his hands.
It's true. You started to come back in the end, but I've got the win in the bag.
There has to be something here. Anything.
But there's not, Casey. You just gotta give it up.
Not so fast, Mr. Slayer. How is your restaurant doing?
It's been okay. I admit it has seen better days. Why?
Do you know the occupation of the 3 victims? Bree Cottage, food blogger. Pepper Jackson, she was a food critic. And Greta Feta, health inspector. True, you may not have known these people personally, but you knew them professionally, and they were all in positions to affect your business.
Okay, maybe I have gotten a few negative reviews, and maybe we weren't the cleanest or the most sanitary, but our food was still good.
Oh, well, then you wouldn't mind if we sample some of your food.
What?
I mean, if Bree Cottage and Pepper Jackson and Greta Feta were all wrong about your restaurant, then you would be okay with all of us trying some of your food, wouldn't you?
I can't.
Why not? Why can't we try some?
I just don't really think you know what you're asking.
Where's the food, Slayer?
Why does it matter?
Give us the food.
You want the food? You can't handle the food.
Why can't we try your food, huh? What's wrong with it?
Everything, okay? It's awful. That's why I had to kill them. Look, I was just getting one bad review after another. Bree was slamming us in her food blog, and Pepper was going around in the papers saying that our food was tasteless, and Greta was trying to get us shut down just because of some mold, flies, rats, the fact that nothing was ever cleaned. But I couldn't just let my restaurant go down like that. I had put all of my heart and soul into it. I even had to get this job as a bailiff to cover costs, and I just couldn't see Sloppy Joe's go down.
That is a very touching story, Mr. Slayer. But you still killed people, so...
Joseph Slayer, I hereby sentence you to life in prison without the possibility for parole. Case dismissed.
Wait, does this mean I'm free? I'm free! I'm free! Ugh. Yes.
So, this means I lost. I've never lost anything. I can't lose. Especially to someone who doesn't even have a lawyer. This is the biggest disappointment of my life. This is worse than when Daddy told me I couldn't go to art school.
Why don't you just go to art school?
What?
Yeah, you're a grown man. Okay, you can make your own decisions. Those pictures you showed were great.
Yeah, they were pretty great, weren't they? You know what? Yeah, I'm going to art school and no one is going to stop me. Not even you, Daddy. Oh, this is so exciting. I'm gonna go buy a new box of crayons.
Oh. Well, jury, that was one crazy ride. I was just on my way from New York to Miami when suddenly all of this happens. There was a lot of objections and not a lot of order in this court. But it all worked out in the end. Ooh. All of this court stuff has made me famished. Do you know of any good local places to eat? I just know of one restaurant where I would not want to visit.